So if you're trying to level up the battle pass fast in Warzone, it can seem like a really long and boring journey, but in this video I'm going to show you how to make it as quick and as easy as possible for the 4th season of Warzone. Now this video focuses on how to tier up in Warzone, so it's tailored towards players who are free to play, so they only have Warzone and not Cold War, or those who are just deciding to play Warzone even though they've got the other Call of Duty games. But if you're interested in how to level up fast in Cold War, Warzone and Modern Warfare, I've done a big guide for that. Feel free to check that out, there'll be a card on screen for that, but this video is going to focus just on Warzone. Just before we get into the video, I'm doing a COD Points giveaway for the Season 4 Battle Pass, and if you win the COD Points, you could use them towards tiers, buying the Season 4 Battle Pass, or even some in-store items. Now if you want to enter that giveaway, there'll be rules for that in the description, but simply all you have to do is like this video, comment your Twitter username below the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon next to it so that post notifications are turned on, and then finally follow me on Twitter. My username is RagerGamer and you can find the link for that in the description. So if you do those 4 things, you'll be entered into the giveaway, and I'll be announcing some winners fairly soon. Now this video provides every single way to level up tiers faster in Season 4 of Warzone, so be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video as it's packed full of tips. And if you want to jump to a specific part of the video, there are timestamps in the description for that. So don't feel like you have to watch the whole thing, you can jump to whatever part you want. But briefly, what we're going to talk about is the main kind of ways to tier up fast, some boosts you can add into the game to make it a little bit faster. Then we'll talk about the best ways in the game, the best game modes, the best strategies, and then kind of the best game mode overall at the end of the video. So that's kind of a rough sketch of what we're going to talk about. And like I say, if you want to jump to a specific part of it, feel free. So let's start off with the main ways to tier up fast, and then we'll move on to everything else. So like I say, the main things involved in speeding up how fast you progress through the battle pass involves the time played, and we'll talk about that in a minute, the XP earned, the double battle pass XP in progression, earning COD points, and a few more boosts and things like that. Now before we jump into anything else, I want to quickly explain that the Black Ops Cold War game has become integrated with Warzone since Season 1 and still is, and what that means is that the Battle Pass content is linked and shared between Warzone and Cold War, so you can use and unlock the stuff by leveling up the tiers in both of those games. You don't just have to play one or the other, you can play either, but like I say, we're Warzone focused on this video, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to talk about some boosts on how to increase the rate at which you level up tiers, so tier skips and double battle pass tokens and things like that. But let's first talk about one of the main ways that counts towards leveling up your tiers. So that is your time played. What that means for anyone that isn't quite sure is that you want to be playing longer matches, because for longer matches you're spending more time in the game, and that's what actually counts, playing the game, not waiting in the lobby, not waiting for the game to load, but actually playing the game. That is what will count towards your battle pass progression, and it's more efficient that way. So try and play longer matches and survive as long as you possibly can in Warzone. So therefore the longer matches are ones like Battle Royale, the main one if you do well, or Plunder, or even some certain limited time modes can be good as well. But the caveat to this is that you need to be doing well in these matches as well, because the other main factor is XP earned. So it's not just about time played, it's also about the XP that you earn. Now we'll talk about the best matches towards the end of the video, so if you're not sure, I'll talk about it then. One of the main things to focus on is, yes, you can spend a lot of time in the game, but how do you maximize the amount of XP you're actually getting in that game? So obviously you need a good class for this, because you need to be doing well. So if you need to level up weapons fast to get better attachments, there'll be a link for that in the description and a card on screen. So feel free to check out my weapon XP guide if you guys need, or any best class setups or anything like that. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're looting more. So for example, opening lots of loot crates, that's one way of doing it. When you do this, you'll also earn money, and the more money you have, the more equipment you can buy, so like self revives, but also a UAV, loadout drops, armor or ammo boxes, stuff like that. But on top of this, it also gives you more XP overall, because at the end you'll get a bigger looting bonus if you've got more money and stuff like that. And also as well for Plunder, more money means you've done better in the game. So it gets you lots of the XP bonuses, it boosts those up so you get more XP at the end, and therefore you do better overall. So money and looting is definitely a really good thing. So what you want to do for this is you want to open lots of loot boxes, you want to run over the bodies of dead enemies to see if they've got any bags of cash on them. You want to find piles of cash as floor loot, so for example on top of roofs, they're often not seen, so it's good to do that when you first spawn in and drop in. Or unsearched rooms. If it looks like there's a big area that hasn't been touched, it likely hasn't been touched, and therefore there might be unopened boxes, there might be cash on the floor. So definitely do that, because more looting means you get a bigger loot bonus at the end of your game. On top of this, you want to be getting more kills as well, because if you have a decent class and you use your mini-map or heartbeat sensor or use the compass or even the sounds to find more enemies, and you may need to adjust your sound settings and use headsets and stuff like that, doing all those things can help you find more enemies and get more kills. That will mean you have a bigger combat bonus at the end of your game. And you'll notice there'll be different categories of bonuses. That's why I'm talking about these now, because each one you do will give you a bigger bonus. On top of this, contracts, that's another bonus, and the more contracts you do, the better it is. So supply run contracts are super fast, they're really easy. You just have to pick up a contract and get to somewhere within under 2 minutes. This is especially easy on Rebirth because the map is so small, it will only take you like 20 seconds to get there normally, even though it's a 2-minute thing. So they're ridiculously easy, so do that if you can. Recon contracts are also pretty good, standing by the flag until it's captured. Scavenger ones can be useful as well, because they'll actually help you find the loot boxes, and you want to try and go between them fast with a helicopter or ATV to get these different contracts done. If you are not 100% sure on contracts, or you're not sure which ones to go for, how to do them, I've got a guide for that, one for the supply run contracts and one for the main three, the recon, the scavenger and the bounty contracts. If you want help with any of those, there'll be cards for those on screen, or again a link in the description. The next main thing is to survive longer. So this means you want to be careful, be safe, don't run and gun, otherwise you'll be dying too soon, which means you get a poor amount of tier progression, because obviously the less time you survive, obviously the less stuff you've been able to pick up because you're dead, but also less time played, which all accounts for a smaller amount of tier progression. So surviving longer has multiple benefits, so make sure you do that. But the next main thing in terms of the end of the game and the XP bonus is the placement bonus. So in Warzone Battle Royale mode, this is to do with how long you survived relative to everyone else. So if you were in like the top 5, you were one of the last 5 groups alive, then you'll get a bigger placement bonus because you did better in the game. Similarly, in Plunder, it's all about getting cash and money. So the more cash you collect overall, the better you place in the game. And so this is why cash is really important, not just in Battle Royale, but obviously in Plunder too. So placement bonuses can be good, and when you're doing all this other stuff, you will inadvertently increase your placement bonus normally, either directly or indirectly by helping you do better at the game. Another quick thing is just to mention, because I know a lot of people forget this, is that the pre-game lobby is there to help you out. So don't forget that these pre-game lobby kills can count towards your XP, weapon XP, and it will help overall to boost your game and give you a little bit more XP overall. So don't miss out on that. Don't forget about that. Get as many kills as you can in the pre-game lobby when you're waiting for that 60 seconds until the game starts, because that will all help you get a little bit better at the end of the game. The next main thing to get XP is by doing challenges. So the main 3 types of challenges in Warzone are the daily challenges, the mastery challenges, and the seasonal progression challenges. So the daily challenges, obviously you get new ones every day. Make sure you're choosing ones that you can do that fit up with whatever else you're doing, and if you're not able to do it and you're finding it difficult, swap to another easier one and then come back to it if you have the chance. The mastery challenges are sort of big end goal ones. They take a lot of time, you can't do it all in one go. It's all about sort of getting victories and doing hard challenges. So a lot of them are like, get this many victories in Warzone Battle Royale or in Plunder or in any of the modes. So the more you win, which will be easier to do by doing all this stuff I'm talking about, the more victories you'll get, and therefore you'll be inadvertently helping yourself with the mastery challenges. But that's not sort of one to specifically focus on all the time. It's just sort of an end goal that you need to keep in mind. But the daily challenges, definitely you need to try and tailor your game towards that. So if it says like pick up or complete 3 contracts in like the farmland region, go to that region and do that as one of the things. Obviously don't do it if it's going to completely wreck your game and you're going to play terribly, because then it's not worth it. But if you can fit it in with your playstyle, and along with whatever else you're going to do in the game, if you can try and go towards farmland and get some contracts, brilliant. That will help you get those done faster, get that XP bonus, and therefore level up your tiers faster. The third main type of main challenge is the seasonal challenges. So we've got the season 4 challenges. If you go to the barracks tab or under the challenge tab, you'll find these challenges, and basically each challenge gives you XP obviously, but there is a bonus amount of XP for completing all 20 prestige challenges in season 4. And don't forget, like I said, obviously these challenges can help you level up faster as well, so not just your battle pass but also your main character XP level, like your main soldier level. And like I say, every 50 levels you get a tier skip, so don't forget that this can all come together to help you in multiple ways, so don't forget that. But yes, that's your seasonal progression, don't forget about that. And then the other 2 main types of challenges, these are lesser but they're not to be forgotten about by by any means is the camo challenges and the reticle challenges. So the reticle challenges, it will normally say like get a certain number of kills with a specific weapon or with a specific sight or something like that. So just kind of look at those reticle challenges. They're fairly easy and they can easily be done in combination with other stuff because you don't have to think about it, you just get kills with the weapon. But the camo challenges, obviously these can sometimes be a little bit more tricky depending on what the challenge is, and I've got a whole playlist for camo guides on my channel. Again, there can be a card for that on screen and a link in the description. So if you need help with camo challenges or a specific challenge in general, then give that a watch and see if that can help you out. But if there's anything you're stuck with and I haven't got it on my channel, feel free to ask and I can try and make a guide on it. But yes, camo challenges, you want to unlock the gold, the diamond and the DM ultra camos for the Black Ops Cold War weapons. But don't forget, you can also, if you had Modern Warfare and all that, you can also do the ones for the Modern Warfare weapons, either in Modern Warfare or in Warzone itself. So you've got 2 sets of weapons to do the camo challenges on, so don't forget about that. Another main thing is that by leveling up your weapons gives you more XP, so try and use different weapons when you can, as long as it doesn't hurt your playstyle. And also weapon unlock challenges, those can be good as well, so use this all to help you in your main mission to earn more XP. I think the main thing that you need to remember though is that it's really good to overlap these challenges to get as much XP as possible. So what I mean by this is choose a couple of daily challenges that you can really work on and start working on those. But at the same time, you also want to work towards your victories for the mastery challenges, and you also want to work towards the seasonal challenges. So if it said like get a certain number of kills with a weapon, do that one and try and link that up with the daily challenges and also the camo challenges. So you could start working towards camo challenges for that weapon class, and so on, and get the reticles as well. If you do all that together, it will give you a massive amount of XP, and this really helps to bump up your tier progression by getting a lot more XP overall. Let's quickly talk about the best few game modes in Warzone and how to kind of make the most of them and the best strategies. So the first one is Plunder. This is a great game mode overall for easy XP, and it's a really fast way of leveling up tiers. I think earlier when I was playing, every 15 to 20 minute Plunder game gave me a whole tier of progress if I was playing well and effectively. So what that would mean is that you can get at least 3 to 4 tiers per hour, depending on how many hours you played per day or per week or whatever. That could really earn you those tiers really fast, even though it's Warzone, even though it's the free to play one and it might not always be the best. It's still a great way of being able to do it, so in fact one of the best ways probably. So please understand that there is a potential to do really, really well and unlock things really fast if you do it properly. The main strategy is if you spawn in and quickly find an area of the map with only a few players at most, but lots of buildings or places to search for loot crates. Now your ultimate goal is to get first place by earning as much money as possible, because this is Plunder, so you want to find somewhere a bit unique that not many other people are going to, so it won't be directly over the flight path, it won't be near any favourite spots that people love going to. You can go there for kills, but in terms of at the start, don't go to a really, really high flow area and nowhere near the flight path. Maybe a little bit further away is your kind of best bet. Do that and then run around opening as many crates as you can by following the faint humming noise which indicates how close and where these loot crates are on the map. If you're having trouble hearing this, obviously adjust your sound settings if necessary. But like I say, obviously the main goal is to get money, and one of the main ways to get a lot of money is opening these loot crates, so just keep going for those. That's your main objective. And you want to keep moving to stay ahead and open as many crates as you can compared to the other enemies. And if you can find a cash deposit balloon, definitely use this so you don't lose the money. If you die, you can deposit it and that way you won't lose it to other enemies. Also keep an eye out for cash piles on the ground in unsearched areas, so for example rooftops and unvisited rooms like I said, and look for money near dead players and obviously kill as many enemies as possible that you come across to get more cash and more XP. You want to do a few contracts if you can along the way while opening crates, so for example the scavenger contracts, which requires you to open crates and shows you where they are. Obviously that can be great, but also supply run contracts are quick and easy, and recon are decent and simple too. There is also the most wanted contract, which is quite good if you are well equipped and fairly safe, but obviously it's up to you. Sometimes it can pay off, sometimes it's annoying because lots of people come after you. It just depends on the game and whether you feel it's worth it or not. But keep opening as many loot crates as you can to get the most money, keep getting the most kills, do as much looting, contracts, all of that as much as possible, as I've kind of already alluded to. And you want to work with your teammates if they're helpful, because teamwork is really important. I know it sounds a bit cringy, but it is true. Try and work with your teammates if you can. If they've got headsets, try and talk to them and kind of set out a strategy. You don't have to talk to them, obviously there's plenty of non-verbal ways to do that, but just kind of work with your teammates, and if you work well together you'll probably end up doing better overall and you might even win. Now, if you get first place you get a lot of XP, sometimes in the region of up to 40 to 50,000 XP, and that's a lot of bonuses and therefore more more XP equals more battle pass progression. So really try and aim for that first place, do as much as you can and push for it so you can get a really good amount of tier progression at the end of the game. So that's the first main game mode for that, but there's also Rebirth as well. So this is great as you have smaller matches, you get lots of respawns, and it makes it easier to do well. And it's also not wasting your time if you die early on, like in the main battle royale. If you spend ages getting set up and then you die halfway through a game, you've probably not done that well, but at the same time you've wasted loads of time and it's not really worth it. So there's no point risking that. I would say go for a game mode where you can respawn and you're guaranteed to do pretty well. It's just not worth risking having lots of terrible games where you just die. It can be really frustrating and off-putting and obviously a waste of time for you. So the main strategy for Rebirth would be to spawn in, grab a decent floor gun and any kill streaks and any other equipment you may need to survive. You want to try to open a few loot crates to earn some money if possible and start doing contracts. So for example, picking up a helicopter or an ATV and then get a supply run contract. Do this several times to get some money to buy a loadout. It doesn't have to be a supply run contract, but those are just the good ones. And then call in your loadout and pick the class you want. So make sure you have some good classes already set up. You want to keep doing contracts because obviously the more contracts you do, the bigger the bonus and therefore the more XP you get overall. And meanwhile, get as many kills as you can without dying. You want to try and stay or work with your teammates as this improves your chance of survival. You want to keep looting, killing, doing contracts, etc. and prepare for the final circle. So for example, by finding or buying a gas mask, getting plenty of ammo and a good class, some equipment, a self-revive, stuff like that. And head towards the final circle with your teammates. Hopefully you guys get a victory, and then just remember it's often better to hold down an area and survive rather than rushing into a gunfight and dying. Otherwise you'll lose your equipment and your loadout, your money, and you're less likely to survive overall in the game. So be patient and try to resist the temptation to always rush in and ditch teammates. Sometimes I have that, but you've really got to focus on the end goal and not try and rush in. You obviously want your loot, your contract, your combat placement and your match bonuses to be as large as possible while surviving as long as you can to get as much XP and time played as possible. So those are kind of the two main modes I'd suggest. Obviously you could do the main Warzone Battle Royale, but like I said, it's big risk, and especially if you're not the best player, it's probably not worth doing. But it's up to you. Those are my kind of suggestions. So overall, what is the best mode in Warzone? Well, obviously this depends on how well you do in each mode. Some are obviously better than other, but generally obviously the longer matches are better than shorter ones if you're getting a decent amount of XP, but sometimes short, very high XP games can be better than longer ones. So for example, a great game of Rebirth may be better than a really poor game of Plunder, even though it's a shorter game mode. But generally, in my opinion, the best mode is Plunder. You get infinite respawns, cash is the main objective, which is obviously easy to find. You get really long matches, which means more time played. You can still get lots of kills, custom loadouts are available. It's just a really easy and kind of enjoyable mode. So definitely that is my kind of favourite choice. But Rebirth can also be good. So it's better than Warzone Battle Royale as you don't risk wasting a lot of time on a game where you can die a fair way in without good progress. But the matches are shorter in Rebirth, which means more time in the game lobby and not in the game. So therefore it's less efficient. And also Warzone Battle Royale can be good, but unless you're a really great player who is unlikely to die and is likely to still do quite well, then Plunder is probably best for you. So I think most people will find Plunder the easiest and the best for getting Battle Pass progression. So let's finally talk about a few boosts you can use to, even though with those tips, make it even faster, and then that will give you guys everything you need to do as well as you can with these battle passes in Warzone. So the first main boost in Warzone, and therefore Cold War as well, is the tier skips. So every 50 levels in Season 4 gives you a tier skip. So at level 50 you get one, level 100 you get a second one, 150 a third one, and so on. And it can be earned by leveling up in Cold War, Warzone or Modern Warfare, but obviously we're focusing on Warzone in this video. Check out my guide on how to level up fast if you're struggling with that. But there's other ways to get tier skips too. So for example, buying certain bundles, or occasionally there's a free gift bundle in the store. So look out for the free gift in the For You section of the store in Cold War or Warzone. And you want to keep an eye out for special events as well. So double tier progression comes at least twice per season. There's one coming very, very soon, I think within the next few days or so. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And also a very new thing is the double tier progression tokens, like double battle pass XP basically. This isn't to be confused with the double XP tokens for leveling up fast. This is a battle pass XP tokens. These are very rare, and at the moment you can get your hands on two of them, so two 1 hour tokens, i.e. 2 hours in total. And basically you can get these two free tokens, that's right, absolutely free, by setting up two-factor authentication. I believe you can do it on Warzone, but I did it through Cold War as well. If you go to the Battle Pass, Basically, there's a fairly new feature where you can gift the battle pass to other people and stuff like that. But obviously there's a big risk with that because then people might abuse that, and so they want you to set up two-factor authorization. Basically means that someone can't just like log into your account and send stuff to themselves or someone else. It's an increased layer of security basically. And if you do that, it's a little bit annoying. You have to kind of download the Google authentication app on your phone or your tablet or whatever. You have to scan the QR code that comes up when you log into your Call of Duty account. When you do this, it will show you how to do it if you go onto Cold War or Warzone. If you go to the Battle Pass, I think you press triangle or Y, and that will bring up this thing to set up the two-factor authorization. And if you do that and follow that through, you'll get 2 1-hour tokens, i.e. 2 hours of double tier progression, which means you're effectively, let's say if you're doing the methods I said, we're able to get at least 3 tiers per hour. That would mean that for 2 hours, you'd do 6 tiers, but you're doubling it because of these tokens. So you'd actually be able to get 12 tiers in 2 hours worth of playtime with these tokens. I think that's pretty good. It's definitely not something to miss out on, and it's a new thing, so try and get your hands on it if you can. And then to activate these tokens, you just activate them in the same way as your other weapon XP or XP tokens. It's just at the bottom of the list, so do that. It's not too difficult, and it's a great way to boost the amount of tier progression you get even more. Now, just bear in mind that double XP itself doesn't count towards extra tier progression. Neither do the double XP weekends, all those tokens like I say, neither of those count to increase your battle pass progression. I know a lot of people make the mistake and think they do, but they don't, so don't waste your tokens because they don't increase the amount that you earn. Finally, the last main way is to earn COD points from the battle pass, and that can be used to buy tiers if you need. Alternatively, if you want some more COD points, like I say, if you enter my giveaway competition and you win, you could use those COD points to do it for free. But those are all the boosts, those are the main strategies, those are the main tips for leveling up your tiers fast in Warzone. I haven't done a video like this before, so I hope it helps those that aren't playing the main Cold War game or are playing Warzone for a change. If it does, feel free to leave a like on the video, it really helps me out, and feel free to also to subscribe with your post notifications turned on by clicking that bell icon to stay up to date with all my latest Cold War and Warzone videos. Like I say, feel free to enter that giveaway if you want to. Got plenty of other guides and videos on my channel, and there'll be links for a lot of those in the description, and there'll be some cards on screen. So thank you so much. I hope you found this useful. If you've got any other tips, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll hopefully see you guys all on my next video. Thank you so much for watching.